What you will learn in this episode.
The one mistake most learners make when starting solo, and how to avoid it.
A surprisingly effective way to fix your pronunciation without a teacher.
Why flashcards aren't just for beginners if you use them the right way.
A simple daily routine that actually works, no matter your level.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're taking a deep dive into some really great material you shared about, well, learning English on your own.
Yeah, how to do it effectively.
Exactly. And this dive, it's really about giving you a shortcut. Pulling out the best bits from these different sources.
Kind of distilling it down.
Right, into a clear path that works for you, whatever your current level is.
And what's interesting is the promise, right? That you can build a solid daily routine.
Covering all the skills: vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar.
Listening, speaking, reading, writing, all of it.
Using stuff that's, well, mostly free and available online.
Which is pretty amazing. So yeah, what does this actually mean for your learning journey?
Let's get into it.
Okay, so right off the bat, your sources really stress knowing where you stand, your starting point.
Makes sense. How do they suggest you figure that out?
Well, one source specifically mentions taking a free English test, often based on the CEFR scale.
The Common European Framework, A1 to C2, right?
Exactly. A1 beginner, C2, near native. And knowing your level is, well, it's crucial.
Because the resources change depending on whether you're A2 or B2.
Totally. The focus shifts, the materials you should use, it all depends on that level.
Okay. So for beginners, say A1, A2, they shouldn't just dive into watching Netflix.
Probably not the best first step, no. Your sources agree it's better to get a grip on the basics first.
Like how sentences actually work. Subject, verb stuff.
Precisely. Those building blocks. One source points to some excellent free core courses for this.
Core courses, okay. So grammar first.
For beginners, yeah. It helps everything else click later. But interestingly, if you're already B2 or higher,
yes,
you might actually skip dedicated grammar drills and just, absorb it through listening and reading.
Integrated learning. Okay, let's talk pronunciation. That feels tricky.
It can be. English spelling versus sound is, well, sometimes it makes no sense.
Tell me about it. So, how do the sources suggest tackling it? Pick a dialect?
Yeah, that's a common tip. Pick American, British, Australian, whatever works for you, and focus.
And for the actual sounds?
One source really highlights resources like Rachel's English on YouTube for American pronunciation. Great free stuff.
And the method is key, right? Not just passive watching.
Definitely not. It's active practice. Watch, listen, then record yourself. Compare. Really listen.
I saw something about vocal placement. Sounds advanced.
It is a bit, yeah. It's less about where your tongue is, more about the resonance. Finding the right space in your mouth or throat helps sound more native.
Wow, okay. Specific techniques. And there are resources for British English too, similar methods.
Absolutely. And tech helps too, like the ELSA Speak app. It uses AI.
AI feedback on your pronunciation. That sounds incredibly useful.
It really can be, especially if certain English sounds are hard coming from your native language.
Okay, foundation, pronunciation.
Yeah.
What about vocabulary? How do we build that word big?
Your sources are pretty unified on this, flashcards, specifically with spaced repetition.
Oh, like Anki. I've heard of that.
Exactly. Anki is often recommended because it's free and powerful. It uses an algorithm. Shows you words right before you'd forget them.
Spaced repetition. Moves words to long-term memory faster.
Yeah. That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
It's science-backed.
And how you use Anki changes.
It does. Beginners might use pre-made decks, maybe with audio. Intermediate, maybe more specific decks.
And advanced. C1, C2.
That's where it gets really powerful. The advice is make your own cards from words you actually encounter.
In podcasts, books, conversations, makes sense. More personal.
6 better, definitely.
Okay, so we have words, we have sounds, listening. Sources call this maybe the most important skill.
Arguably, yeah. It's your main window into real, natural English.
And podcasts are a top recommendation.
Huge recommendation. And they list specific ones based on level. Fewer options for A1, B1, but good ones exist.
And for intermediate or advanced.
Hundreds. Things like The Moth for stories, Radiolab for complex topics. Depends on your interest and target dialect. But the key is active listening.
Look up words you don't know.
Yep. Don't just let it wash over you. Engage with it.
What about movies and TV?
Also mentioned, yeah, but maybe more for B2 and up. And a big warning. English subtitles only.
Not your native language.
No, because then you're just reading, not listening effectively to the English. And again, look up new words.
Gotcha. Okay, the scary one, speaking. How do we actually start talking?
Well, the sources are blunt. You just gotta do it. Practice is everything.
But how? Any practical tips?
Some cool ideas. One is using AI, like ChatGPT's voice chat. You can just talk to it.
And can it correct you?
You can ask it to. Tell it to point out your mistakes. It's like a patient practice partner.
That's a clever.
What else?
Self-talk. Sounds simple, but just narrate your day in English. Out loud.
Helps you start thinking in English directly.
Exactly. And of course, finding real people online, language exchanges, or real-world chances if you have them.
The main message is just start. Don't worry about mistakes.
Pretty much. Embrace the awkwardness and open your mouth.
Okay. Reading and writing. Quickly, what's the advice there? Reading helps, especially for certain goals. Free online stuff again, freekidsbooks.org for simpler texts.
And Project Gutenberg for classics if you're advanced.
Right, absorb that more complex language.
Yeah.
And writing. Again, AI is your friend.
Use ChatGPT to check your writing.
Yeah, ask it to find errors, suggest better phrasing, give you prompts. Writing consistently and getting feedback helps pinpoint weaknesses.
So, pulling it all together.
Yeah.
A daily routine. How does that look? Sources suggest like an hour a day.
Ideally, yeah. Consistency is key. And the routine changes with your level.
So, beginners, A1, A2.
Heavy focus on that core course. Pronunciation practice, like with Rachel's English or ELSA. Daily Anki for vocab. Start adding easy listening at A2.
Okay. Intermediate, B1, B2.
Lean into your interests more. Listening becomes maybe the main thing. Podcasts, subtitled shows, still Anki, but maybe making your own cards. Seek out speaking practice. Add reading, writing if needed.
And the advanced folks, C1, C2.
Less structured courses. It's mostly immersion. Daily listening, reading real stuff. Speaking practice for fluency and nuance. Writing practice, maybe analyzed by AI.
And the big takeaway is
Just keep learning. Be consistent. Adjust things based on what you like and what you need. Fluency takes time.
right. So connecting this to the bigger picture, learning on your own, it can feel like a lot, can't it?
Definitely overwhelming sometimes. So many skills, so many resources.
But this dive into what you shared, it shows there's a path, right? A structured way.
Absolutely. And using these resources, many free, makes it achievable.
We've covered finding your level, grammar foundations, pronunciation techniques, vocab building with Anki,
Listening strategies, speaking practice methods like AI and self-talk, reading, writing.
it's all there. Remember, the most crucial thing seems to be consistency and tweaking the plan as you go.
Keep it interesting for yourself.
Exactly. So thinking about all these practical steps, all these resources from your sources, it raises a question for you listening. What specific area jumps out? What's the very first thing you're going to intentionally practice this week?